Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Marveling in the Madness. As always, I am Stephen Matembu, and we got Dominic on the building. How are we doing, my guy?
I am all right. A little bit warm in this lovely British summer that we're now having all of a sudden, but it's good. How about yourself?
Don't you dare complain about this little bit warm summer. I've waited so long for this. The harsh winter. No, I'm not going to complain. But yeah, I'm good. Long story short, I'm all good.
The darkness is
Enjoy
here.
it. I'm not going to complain.
Nice, nice.
Hmm.
Very good.
Yes. So we recently went to see a film, very popular film, I might add. Do
Certainly
you remember?
was. I do. We went to see the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was the last of the trilogy, also sort of closing out the current trilogy with the current actors. And yeah, it was a fitting end to the series, I think. I enjoyed it. It was probably out of the three films I think we've reviewed on. Well, no, we've only reviewed one film on here, but we mentioned another one. Out of the three films we've been to watch recently, um, it was definitely the best for me, I think. So
Oh, for sure. For that one, for me, there's like so much depth, and I can probably spend like 20 minutes just talking about it. But we'll do more of a brief summary. It's just shout out James Gunn, man. He's a really, really talented director. Like there was so much emotion. I wasn't ready for the film to be that emotional. I thought it was gonna just be sort of a, action thriller thing.
yeah,
A little bit of suspense, no real emotion, but then you had to hit us with the animal cruelty straight away. Wasn't ready. Had a few tears coming. Small
yeah,
ones, just small ones that you couldn't really see, but I felt them. They were there.
yeah.
Some really good writing.
I'm gonna try not to give any spoilers, but yeah, it was a moving tribute. I think all the actors and actresses played a great part. It was great. I enjoyed it. Very funny in places, and as you say, quite moving in others.
So right, on the title put spoilers, obviously, so it's fine.
Hashtag
Everyone knows.
spoilers.
Then everyone knows.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I feel like it's been out long enough now as well. I know people was late to a lot of things, but
that's true.
come on now. Come on now.
It was good fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Got some good laughs.
Yeah. I say like I'll be honest, I was never really like the biggest fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Like I liked it, but I wouldn't say they were my favorite.
Mm.
But I think this one just like really hit it off. Like it kind of, I wouldn't say saved the MCU, but a lot of their like film slash TV show things are not being the best. Whereas I feel like this one, like it kind of gets that hype again. You start to see a Marvel film,
Yeah.
where some previous ones before you went to see them, like, ah, not sure I like
Yeah.
them, you know.
I haven't enjoyed as many of them recently. I did enjoy the new Ant-Man film. That was quite fun.
See, I'm still yet to see that.
No, it's good. It's good. But the yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I've always enjoyed them. I probably two like the original two are two of my favorites. So the fact that this one fits the trilogy well is it's a good ending for me. I was happy with how it finished. So yeah,
It's sad that they're all going like their own ways because like certain characters that we're going to see again. Because again, spoilers, obviously. The end credit scenes is like Peter Quill would characters really. Obviously, they can still take the Guardians of the Galaxy characters, like the main ones that are left now, but you don't know really what's going to happen. Like Gamora, you don't know what's happening with it.
uh,
Nebula, like it didn't really say like they're returning, just said Peter Quill. So like he's a little bit ambiguous.
yes. Sorry, you broke up at just the wrong time there. But yes, Peter Quill. Yes, it looks like he's returning, but most of the others aren't. I really hope they do some more Guardians of the Galaxy film though, because the new crew looks quite fun.
Hmm.
So yeah, I hope so.
Or would you say that's like James Gunn's way of saying kind of like if you're like this is my like finishing bit, I'm out, peace.
No, I don't think so. I think it was always planned to be like those actors and actresses kind of wanted to step back at the same time. So I think it's just
Maybe. I mean well we can go into a little bit of politics. It's like the reason they fired him was obviously some dodgy tweets a while ago.
yeah,
I still think it's a bit weird. So and now obviously it's gone over to DC. So we shall
yeah.
see what he produces there.
See if he can
Apparently
meet.
this Flash film was really good.
Yeah, it's been.
Again,
I heard it had a few mixed reviews. Yeah, so I heard we'd had a few mixed reviews on it. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I imagine he might make the DC universe actually people wanting to watch it now. So
hmm.
if he does.
Yeah, as I say, they've not had the best sort of chain of films. Compete, well, they tried to compete with Marvel too soon because Marvel took time, built up the universe, whereas DC was like, we can just throw a lot of things together and then see what happens. And obviously, that's not the best way to do it. It's basically like when you're a child and you're playing with your toys, you just actually just smash them together and stuff's happening. It doesn't really make for good storytelling or
No.
growing an audience, because you can say, oh, people just want to go see superhero films, which is what they basically are, but there's so much more to them, there's so much more depth. Each
Yeah,
character is like being developed through each movie and like tie-ins. So like there's so much work going into it. So it's not just like, oh, here's this film, and then stand alone. It's like they intertwine, which is really smart for Marvel.
yeah, clever. That's very clever. It all built well. I'm not sure they're building this phase as well for me, but so yes. So other news articles this week on Sky News, weird news articles. We saw the strange article where a crocodile got itself pregnant.
That's on some like biblical stuff right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When I first looked at the story, I was like, it's a bit of like, not irony is not the right word to use, but I can't think of the word. Basically, I was like, this seems really familiar.
classic virgin birth. Do you reckon that crocodile is going to go on to be the crocodile messiah? I'm joking, obviously.
I
Don't
would
get
say,
offended.
Christians, calm down. It's just jokes. Please relax. Please have a funny bone. Please, because I know how people can get like, oh my gosh, blasphemy, man. I'm like, yo, just relax. It's just jokes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Be
am a
calm.
Christian. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We are good Christians. You can have a joke and a laugh sometimes. But yeah, it was just funny how like the two intertwined. That's all I just saw.
I
Yeah.
know. I thought it was funny. Apparently, it's happened quite in other creatures. I don't. I think, if I remember the story right, it was the first time it's happened in a mammal, but it has happened in. Oh wait, that's a reptile, not a mammal. Anyway, we'll try again. Uh, but it's the first time it's happened in a crocodile. It's what it's happened in like fish and birds and things before, apparently.
Yeah. I wonder if that's just like just in terms of survival, like the species. So obviously, if you go so long without, mating, that to secure your own survival, whatever species you are, eventually just gonna self reproduce. Which is
Yeah.
quite interesting, really.
Imagine if people start doing it more regularly. That would be strange.
I mean, that would be creepy and weird, and we would not be ready for it.
No, just like if a load of women just suddenly spontaneously got pregnant, that would be awkward conversations.
Tiny bit, tiny bit.
So
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall with like Mary's conversation.
yeah, it must have been awkward. Like obviously we believe it was God in Mary's case, but it's still. Could you imagine having that conversation with like Joseph? Like, so I'm pregnant. What? Yeah, it was. It's God.
Seems like such a, again, just jokes, please relax. But it just seems like it would be such a funny thing because you can't imagine in today's day that you're like, man, get the hell out of here. Don't come here with all that.
Yeah,
You
if
wouldn't believe it. You're like,
like if your partner told you that,
yeah,
it takes some
yeah.
convincing. I know. Joseph had meant to have an angel like appear to him to explain it to him, but still, like,
Still
wow,
hard.
yeah, yeah. Well, he was going to divorce her, wasn't he? Well, break off their engagement.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's definitely not going to help matters, is it?
oh, but yes, so strange. Obviously, this I don't know if crocodile has a crocodile. I don't think crocodiles have crocodile partners, like lifetime crocodile partners. I don't know, but
I never looked into it. It was a funny story when I looked at it. I was like, that's kind of cool. And then it just reminded me, like, you ever watched the film Lucy?
no, what's that?
It's a really odd film, basically, but quite good. But basically, it just talks about, that's what I was like talking about, the survival of the species. So, long story short, like I was saying before, if it's like crucial to the survival and it can't reproduce, then some, like you say, some birds or mammals will just reproduce in order to like save their species. There's like this
Nice.
little small subsection. I don't do Justin because Morgan Freeman was speaking on it. It was quite cool in that character. Quite cool guy.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
cool.
sure. Yeah. Watch it. It's
I
good.
could watch it. Nice, nice. And on that note, we should move on to the other story, which has just completely gone out of my mind.
Great. Yeah, I can show you're prepared. This is what happens when you let you pick the stories.
So what happens when it's far too hot in this ruddy room?
It was
Oh,
people in was it China who
uh,
are got used to wearing masks. So
that's
they had to go
yes,
to
yes.
like a class to learn how to smile again.
Yeah, so our second news story of the week is a class. I think you're right. I think it's either in Japan or China.
I think it's
And
Japan. I'm gonna say Japan.
I think it was Japan. I think, and they're now having classes to remind them how to smile if they've been used to wearing a mask. So people are attending these classes to help them smile again, which is pretty
That's
funny.
absolutely hilarious. Because you'd think you'd smile anyway, because you can kind of see you're smiling with your eyes. So do that,
Yeah.
your eyes when you smile it. There you go, perfect example. So you think you wouldn't still need to do it. So unless they're just like straight face all the time. So even when
Yeah.
it's talking, everything is just super serious.
Maybe they just think you're like intently staring at them.
Quite
That's
possibly.
it's just funny. Like it's one of those things that you wouldn't even have thought about in a pre-COVID world, but here we are in a post-COVID world, and one of the things that is now quite turned up as smile classes.
But I suppose for them, I'm not really making an excuse, but they've been in it for a lot longer than we have. So things that we are just for the norms, that's still not normal over there. I imagine they're still going through it because they were like seriously locked down for the longest time.
Well, yeah, it's also, to be fair, I could do some smile classes because my smile, every time I try and smile for a photo, I always just pull the worst smile. So maybe I should go to maybe smile classes should just be a thing generally and just teach people. Maybe we should have them in school. Have like a once a year 15-minute smile class. Make sure you can smile, not like a buffoon.
I mean, maybe not a smart class. Maybe just go there and be like happy. Someone could tell some jokes or something like that, and then you just smile automatically. I feel like forced smiling is even worse than just I don't know. Forced smiling is the worst. You can see it in people's faces. It's creepy.
You've just upset a lot of people on Instagram.
Yeah, come at me. I'm not scared. What are you gonna do? Write some comments. Ooh, scary.
We're gonna have a lot of comments to this video.
Everybody can get some today. Come out.
Just upset everybody. I woke up this morning and chose violence. Anyway,
yeah.
so let's move on to the final thing, which is my my propensity to talk about schools at least once a week, just for your amusement and your pure joy that I see in your face every time I talk about it. So
I might need that smiling class now, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Classic.
Ah.
So Ofsted, obviously, it's been in the news a bit in the last couple of months, and teachers have been sort of complaining about how it's done. And there was that head teacher that committed suicide after a really bad Ofsted report, and they were saying it was largely down to that. But also, it got me thinking that so obviously it needs some rework and some changes, I think, to how it's done, because it's very intense for people, but also because it's quite a negative thing generally. I think the pressure to achieve, but also I wonder whether actually it should review more than just the school. I think they're meant to review academies now as well, and the chain, which should be really, you should start at the top though, shouldn't you? With any business or anything, like if this is an issue, it starts at the top. So for me, really, it should Ofsted, when they come into a school, they should review what the government's provided to the school and whether that's adequate. If it's not, so they should review the government, then they should review the academy trust and say, well, is the academy providing the support that it should to the school, because they're the next ones in charge. And then finally, then you come down to the school and the head teachers, and then you come down to the teachers themselves. Right? You should do it like they should review everything rather than this just focusing on such a narrow scope that actually probably doesn't capture the full picture of why schools are struggling. And they are struggling, that's the truth. But anyway, that's my thoughts, is why does
No, I think
Ofsted should have a wider remit.
No, I think that's very fair. Like I say, if you don't have the tools, necessary, you can't exactly perform to your best ability. So therefore, that's going to, get in the way of your score and such. Like, so yeah, I wholeheartedly agree that it should start, like I say, it's pretty much start at the top, work its way down, and then give it a longer time for assessment, because I feel like it's just like a couple of days or whatever. So how's that a true representation of what's actually going on? And since you know about it, you're going to be more stressed about it. So it's not really true representation of like how you teach or your style or whatever. So I do think it's really unfair.
No, well, I think like if some schools have a high proportion of kids with additional needs or special needs, and you just think actually those kids are going to struggle more. A, because of the resource, and B, because some of them probably never achieve massive academic progress. That doesn't mean they're not progressing in the areas they can, but like how you score these things really needs to reflect what resource you have to cater for the needs of your class. And it's not just special needs, obviously. It's all the other requirements that kids may have. You got additional languages, additional, the list goes on and on. But how is that place resourced? Has it got sufficient resource for the needs that it's got? Yes or no? And if it hasn't, then well, you can't really blame the school or the staff.
Say it's a fair test, then, can you?
No, exactly. So yeah, I just think they need to rethink the system, and they need to put a bit more onus on actually are schools being resourced and provided for correctly by the government, and at least then it might give the government a bit of a kick to say, oh, actually, better change how I do things a little bit.
Yeah, you can see, oh, we're failing in this department, so obviously we'll step back here over here, and then just gives everyone that little bit of accountability and that time to actually change it.
Yeah,
rather than oh, teachers are rubbish and full stop.
Yeah,
that doesn't really solve anything, does it?
No, and
you're not going to really encourage future teachers to want to get involved in their job.
No, and they're losing teachers rapidly at the moment, so you're going to have a real problem soon of a real.
Well, they're having an ongoing problem on because they're still striking. So
yeah, but I just think let's put a bit of onus on the people in charge fundamentally. But that's not. We don't want it. We're not going to make it political. It's the government, whoever that is.
Those people,
whichever party is in power, that the principle should be the same.
So, no, I wholeheartedly agree.
There you go. There's my slightly deeper thought for the week on teaching.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, my friend. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Unless you have anything else you would like to add?
No, that is me done. I am going to pass out if I keep in this heat much longer. So we shall got a show soon.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of Marveling the Madness. I've been Stephen Matenvu, as always, with Dominic Tool. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great week.